All right, so in our last video, we left off with finishing up client one. So we did our set up our work area and preparation and setup of supplies. We did our client preparation and our basic facial, and we ended at the basic facial. So what I have on my station is my barbicide wipes, paper towels, universal supplies. I have some water, first aid kit, and my sanitizer. Our next section is going to be work area and new client preparation and setup of supplies. You will break down your work area and properly dispose of supplies used in the previous sections of this examination. You will prepare your work area for a new client. You will set up your work area with the universal supplies that you will use for the remainder of the examination. You will also set up your work area for the following sections of the examination: hair removal of the eyebrows using simulated soft wax, tweezing, and facial makeup. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. And then, of course, they will repeat the instructions, and then they will say, you may begin. So, I'm going to sanitize my hands. Now, in this section, everything has to be removed from the table and has to be reset up again. So what I'm gonna do is go in my kit, inside that baggie that I told you about in the first section, and grab a pair of gloves. I'm going to sanitize my hands, and I'm going to open my wipes. Grab a wipe, and I'm going to wipe down this space here, and then each item I'm going to wipe down and place it on my lid. Going to take a layer of my paper towels off, throw those away, throw this away, and wipe my table. Throw this away. I'm going to sanitize, get a second wipe. Wipe my table. So now I'm going to go backwards from the way that I just did. So I'm going to disinfect my table. Take my paper towels. My wipes back up here. Universal supplies. Water bottle, first aid kit, and a hand sanitizer. And then I'm going to throw this away. Take off my gloves, sanitize my hands. Go back in my kit, and now I'm going to take the baggie out that had the 4 pair of gloves in it. Should be 1 left. This goes in the trash. Put these gloves on. And now I can begin to set up a client 2. Sanitize. Get my client 2 setup baggie. Put this in the trash. Sanitize. Get my last baggie out. Go ahead and close my bin because I'm no longer working from it. And if your bin has these little clasps on it, they have to be completely snapped. So now I'm done with that and it's completely empty. And now I can set up for client 2. This will go in the trash. We'll be doing hair removal first. So I'm gonna get that out first. Trash. And I'm gonna leave my makeup in the baggies because I know that the hair removal service is gonna take more than 10 minutes, so I don't wanna leave this stuff out. And I'm gonna align this. Trash. All right. And once I have all of this set up to my liking, I will remove my gloves, sanitize, and then I will step back. Can leave it going, can leave it going. Now, what I have out for hair removal, I have antiseptic, powder, soft wax. Did you stop me? Oh. And post-epilation. For antiseptic, I have 4 2x2s. For powder, I have 1 2x2 and a stick. For wax, I have 2 sticks, 2 strips. For post-epilation, I have 2 2x2s. And for tweezing, I have a tweezer and a 2x2. All right, so this is everything for hair removal. Your next section, which is section 4. This is new client preparation and hair removal of the eyebrows by tweezing and simulated soft wax. They will read, you will have 5 minutes to prepare your client for the following sections of this examination. Hair removal of the eyebrow by using simulated soft wax, tweezing, and facial makeup. Please do not begin any procedure until the verbal instructions have been read and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated, and then they will say, you may begin. Notice how in this section it says you will prepare your client, okay? So I'm going to sanitize my hands. I'm going to grab my client. Get my client all tucked in. And then I'm going to secure their hair. You can either use one of these, you can use facial cap, or you can use a towel. Secure my client's hair. Then I'm gonna go wash my hands. Come back and get my gloves on for the service. And you have 5 minutes to do this. This is really the only thing that you need to do is prepare your client in this section. So then I will step back to indicate that I'm finished. Next, this is an untimed section. This is section, this is actually section 4, not section, the other section wasn't 4. This is 4. New client preparation and hair removal of the eyebrows by tweezing and simulated soft wax untimed. So they will read this. You will perform the hair removal of the eyebrows by tweezing and using simulated soft wax. You will select one eyebrow to demonstrate a simulated soft wax and tweezing procedure. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will be instructed individually by the examiner to demonstrate the tweezing and soft wax procedures. This is an untimed section. Do not begin to demonstrate soft wax and tweezing procedure until you are instructed to do so by the examiner. And then, of course, they will repeat the instructions. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna come to you. I'm recording the video, don't walk in front of me. It's a video. So what they're gonna do is come to you individually and read the instructions to you. So they'll walk up to you and they'll say, please demonstrate the hair removal using simulated soft wax along the entire length of one eyebrow. This is where you begin. So I'm going to sanitize my hands. Going to take my antiseptic and I'm going to put this back down because I need it again. I'm going to take it, cleanse the eyebrow area, throw it in the trash. Then I'm going to take my powder and an applicator stick. I'm going to scoop some powder out onto my 2x2. Now you can put it directly on the top end, or you can open this up and put it in the middle here and make a little bottle. This goes in the trash. I can go ahead and get rid of my powder. This is going to be in items to be disinfected. Powder the brows. This goes in the trash. Now my waxing. I'm gonna open my wax. I have lotion in here. You can use corn syrup, you can use honey, you can use lotion, whatever you're gonna use to simulate. I don't recommend honey or corn syrup because it's messy, but if that's what you wanna use, it's totally up to you. All right, so we have our wax. I'm going to get some wax, scrape the bottom. I'm going to test the wax on my wrist. This goes in the trash. Take a strip, spread it over the wax, remove the wax. Trash. Now I'm going to take my wax, at the bottom. Make sure that I apply the wax along the entire brow that you have on your mannequin. So you want to spread the wax along the entire length of the brow, all the way down to the tip. This goes in the trash. Go ahead and get rid of my wax. This goes in to be disinfected. Take my strip Make sure I spread it over all the wax I have on there. You should be able to see the wax that you have on there. It should be in the shape of an eyebrow, and it should be bleeding through the strip. I'm gonna spread it on there, making sure I'm holding taut. Pull it, apply pressure for 3 seconds. Take the strip, if you have excess wax, and get that excess wax off. Throw this in the trash. I'm gonna go back in again with some antiseptic. And I'm gonna keep this again because you need it again. I'm gonna wipe the brow. Throw this in the trash. I'm gonna go in with my post-epilation product. Squeeze this on here. I'm gonna keep this because I need it again. Wipe the brow. Throw this in the trash. Sanitize my hands. And then I'm going to step back. And then they will say to you again, they will say, please tweeze 3 hairs from the same eyebrow and conclude the service. So then you're going to start again. Now, you want to treat this like it's a whole new person, even though it's the same client. So you have to do all the steps over again, okay? So I'm going to sanitize. I'm going to take my antiseptic. I'm going to wipe the brow. Throw this in the trash. I'm going to take my 2x2 and my tweezers, and I'm going to tweeze 3 hairs, making sure you're holding taut. 1, 2, 3. Wrap my hairs up, throw them in the trash. These go in to be disinfected. I'm gonna take a 2x2 and I'm gonna go in with antiseptic again. And now at this point, I can go ahead and put this in to be disinfected. Wipe the brow. Throw this in the trash. I'm gonna go in with the last 2x2, put on my post-epilation product. Go ahead and put this in to be disinfected. Wipe my brow. Throw this in the trash. Sanitize my hands. And then I'm going to step back. Notice how I don't have anything remaining on the station. So before you step back, make sure everything is disposed of properly, because they will count off for having extra disposables and products and things like that on the station, okay? So that is our hair removal section. All right, our next section, which is part 5, is our facial makeup. So I'm gonna read the verbal instructions. You will perform facial makeup. You are expected to apply the facial makeup in the following order: foundation, powder, blush, eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, and lip color. You are expected to brace when working around the eye and mouth areas. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 20 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate that you have finished. Of course, they will repeat it one more time, and then they will say, you may begin. Now, personally, in this area, I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I like to go ahead and scrape my makeup now at this point. It's still good, Brandon? I'm gonna get my makeup out. Disposables. Throw this in the trash. I'm gonna put my foil over my palette. And you can actually probably bring this close for me so that I can, so they can see. I'm only gonna simulate, but at least you'll see how I do it. I'm going to have my client turn around to face me. And I like to squeeze all of my products out in order. So I would squeeze out my foundation here. Make sure you have enough of it before you throw it in to be disinfected. So I would squeeze out my foundation here, put this in to be disinfected. Make sure it matches your complexion of your mannequin as well, because you don't want any lines of demarcation. I'm gonna take my powder, I'm gonna make sure that matches the complexion of my mannequin, and I'm gonna put it here in this second hole, and I would just scrape my powder here. This goes in the trash. This goes in to be disinfected. Next step is gonna be your blush. Make sure your blush has some color to it, a bricky color, a pink color, some type of color that they can see. In this third little hole here, I'm gonna scrape my blush. Throw this in the trash. Put this in to be disinfected. Then I'm gonna go in with my eyeshadow. You need 2 different colors. So I will go in, I'm gonna go right here, from here to here. And I would scrape the light color here, throw this in the trash, and then scrape my darker color in that next hole, throw this in the trash, go ahead and put this in to be disinfected. And then I'm gonna take my last stick. Make sure your lipstick has color to it and it's not a clear sheer gloss or anything like that. Make sure it's something that shows up. And I would take my lipstick and then take some of that, and it would go here in this last spot. This will go in the trash. Items to be disinfected. So now at this point, I am ready to do my makeup. Sanitize my hands. For foundation, I like to use a wedge. So I would get my foundation and blend that out all over my client. Let me push her cap back a little bit. And when you're blending in the forehead, making sure that it blends all the way back under her cap, because they will remove the cap to see if there's a line of demarcation. And if it is, they will count off. So we're gonna blend our foundation all over. And you don't wanna put on a full amount of foundation, because it's gonna make it harder for you to blend it out. It's gonna take more time. And keep in mind, you only have 20 minutes. Okay. Boom. Making sure that we're covering all areas evenly, and it's blended out. Then this will go in the trash. For my powder, I like to use cotton ball. So then I will go into the second area where I put my powder. And what you don't want to do is blow anything. So you don't want to go, or you don't want to blow the mannequin. You don't want to do any of that. That's a no-no. So you'll take this, and if you need to dust it off, just tap it. And we're going to place our powder all over our client. Once we have our powder on, this goes in the trash. I'm gonna take another cotton ball for my blush. Blush is right here. And I'm just gonna pat that into the cheek. Making sure that it's enough to be visible. Once I'm done with my blush, I'm gonna throw this in the trash. Then I'm gonna go in with my eyeshadow, which I have right here, which is my lighter color. Now, when you get in the eye area, you wanna make sure you're bracing. So I'm gonna take my product on here, put that pinky out, place it on my client's face, and apply my eyeshadow. Same thing with this side, placing it on my client, focusing, and apply my eyeshadow. Now, they're not looking for perfection. They're just looking that you're doing the steps in the correct order and that you're doing the steps properly. So then I'm going to turn this wand over, use the other side for my other shadow. And same thing, I'm going to brace on my client, apply it on the outside here. Get some more for the other eye, brace on my client, and apply it on this outside. Once my shadow is to my liking, this goes in the trash. Then I'm gonna go in with some eyeliner. Now make sure your eyeliner is sharp before you go in, and that you have a sharpener just in case. So I'm gonna take this off and immediately go ahead and throw this in to be disinfected. Same thing, I'm going to brace my pinky on my client and apply the eyeliner. Now, the type of eyeliner you apply is totally up to you, but you just want to make sure that you have eyeliner on your client and that you're bracing while you're doing it. Okay. After I'm done with my eyeliner, this goes in to be disinfected. The sharpener goes in to be disinfected. Mascara. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna take a disposable wand, twist it in here. Go ahead, put the cap back on your mascara and get rid of it so that we do not double dip. This goes in to be disinfected. I'm going to brace on my client again, and I'm going to wiggle up, wiggle up, wiggle up. Same thing on the other side. Try to brace on my client. Wiggle up, and wiggle up. And if you need to do that 2 times, do it 2 times. Go back to the other eye just to make sure that they see it. With the same wand. Your wand did not run out of mascara because she don't even have lashes, okay? So, it's the same wand. This goes in the trash. And then I have 2 different lip brushes. The type of lip brush you use is totally up to you. So I'm gonna get my lipstick off of here, and I'm gonna brace around the mouth area and apply my lipstick. Once I have my lipstick to my liking, go ahead and throw that in the trash. If I'm not using this, this needs to go in the trash. I'm going to separate my foil from my palette. The foil is going to go in the trash. Palette goes in to be disinfected. I'm going to sanitize my hands, and I'm going to step back. And that is the makeup. All right, and then our next section, part 6. This is blood exposure procedure. I'm gonna read the verbal instructions. You will demonstrate the blood exposure procedure. You will imagine the following scenario. Now, when you go to state board, they might read on yourself or on the client. So you just have to listen to what instructions they tell you to do. For this one, I'm gonna read it on yourself. During a service, you have sustained a minor cut to your index finger. The injury is such that you can continue with the service. Your work area or client has not been contaminated. You are expected to demonstrate the proper procedure for a blood exposure. You are expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate that you have finished. Of course, they will repeat the instructions, and then they will say, you may begin. I'm going to sanitize my hands. And keep in mind, it was your index finger. They did not say your thumb. They did not say your pinky. They said your index finger. So, I'm going to grab what I need out of here. Take these off. Sanitize. Try not to get that index finger. Put on a glove. Take an alcohol prep pad and open it. Wipe my finger. This goes in the trash. I'm going to take my cream, open this, apply it to my finger. This goes in the trash. And then I would open up my Band-Aid and apply my Band-Aid to my finger, like so. The wrappings and everything will go in the trash. Take this glove off. Trash. I'm going to sanitize. And of course, I will still have my Band-Aid on. I'm going to put on a fresh pair of gloves because I can continue with my service. And you have 10 minutes to do this. Once you are done, go ahead and sanitize again, and you will step back. All right, the last part they will read. All examiners have indicated they have completed their assessment. This concludes the National Aesthetics Practical Examination. Make sure that all kit supplies and disposable materials are taken with you. Thank you for your participation. You are dismissed. Now, because they say that you're dismissed does not mean that you're not still being graded. They are watching everything that you do, so make sure that you dispose of everything properly in the way that you're supposed to. So I'm gonna take these off. Well, let me break down first. Well, I'm gonna take these off. Throw them in the trash. Put this in the trash. This goes in soiled linen. And what I'm gonna do is put my bags on top of my kit. Ooh, probably about to fall over. This is gonna go in to be disinfected. These go in soiled linen. First aid kit to be disinfected. Water goes in to be disinfected. Throw these in the trash. I'm going to grab me a pair of gloves out of here that I don't have. Make sure you have a pair of gloves at the end. I don't have my gloves with me. I know, ooh, I would just have to wing it, but make sure you have a pair of gloves with you. And if you know you don't have gloves, keep the gloves on that you had from the previous section so that at least you're wearing gloves. I do not have mine, so it is what it is. This is gonna go in to be disinfected. I would, at this point, put my gloves on. I'm gonna take my sanitizer off the table and I'm gonna sit it on my kit right here because I need it again. Throw this away and I'm gonna disinfect. Of course, you don't want to do this with bare hands. You want to have gloves on. Throw that away. One more. This goes in to be disinfected. Take my second wipe. This goes in the trash. Take my sanitizer and then put it in to be disinfected. Me washing my hands. And then everything I came in with leaves out with me in a bag. My kit, you see my kit, completely empty. And then I'm gonna exit the entire room. And you can